A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Welcome to the Tricky Triangle. It's week number 2 of the second season of 2025 for the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series here on Turn 200. And if anything is to be based off of last week, tonight is going to be another very interesting night of racing for sure. Not the least of which is because of the car count. We are officially about to be bumping in 10 seconds time when the track opens up for qualifying here from Pocono Raceway. My name is Tommy Cook. We got my partner alongside as always here on a Thursday night, and my dueling partner on Tuesday night in the Venom Truck Series, Mr. Joshua Motichek. Partner, welcome to Pocono. It is a divisive track amongst the drivers, and certainly with this many drivers here tonight, opinions are going to vary wildly.
Yeah, not only that, Tommy, but it is a scorcher. Current track temp rolling into qualifying was 122.
Oh.
So definitely enjoying the AC in the booth here.
Well, we talked about a 38-way tie last week. Unfortunately, that trend will not continue. There are a couple of ties on the board here. 3-way tie for 6th, 1 tie for 13th. But again, postseason format, it is just straight up points. The top 12 will make it on to the final 5-round postseason to close up shop here for 2025. And this is how it stands with Scott Patton, not a surprise, with the stage win and the overall race win and the most laps led, lead in the pack.
Yeah, Patton coming with vengeance after coming just short last season. So definitely going to be one to watch. Patton is always fast, no matter the track, but especially here at the Tricky Triangle. One name that I see missing, Dakota Floyd, who had some complications last week.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd, last place last week at Phoenix. He is notably missing. I mean, lots of names on this board right now that were not in last season's postseason ceremonies. Lots of drivers that didn't get a fair shake at it, and the Gruber brothers as well, who are up above the cut line to start things out after 1 week of competition last week at Phoenix. Round number 2 here tonight at Pocono. Let's get you to the qualifying action as we got drivers out on track. Again, it is 1 lap qualifying here this season. And you got to make that lap count here at the Pocono Raceway. 123 degrees, like you said. That is the track temperature that these drivers have to deal with. This is James Lehman sporting a new paint. I think maybe trying to shake off some bad juju from last week. Handful of drivers that will be making either EOL starts or will be penalized 1 lap at the start of this race. Justin Michael is one of those drivers after his contact with Lehman last week, who will be serving a 1-lap penalty here this evening. He's also the most recent winner at Pocono here with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. And what do you know? He just went quickest. Time to beat right now, 55:40. Now make it a 55:38 for Dakota Floyd. 5 drivers making their season debut here tonight, not their series debut. One of those is Mike Milfelt. He just put it 4th provisionally. Riley Tilton just went to 3rd in his return run as well.
Rene Garcia now up to 4th. One of the ASRL guys jumping in here.
Garcia, the most recent winner on the channel with a victory last night in the feature at Laguna Seca. I just had, there we go, Charging Charlie Widener. One of 2 drivers in the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series to go to victory lane. Did that back in the 2024 season in spectacular fashion. We'll see what Charlie can do here. Now, only top 43 will advance on to the race. By my count, we've got 44 drivers in the session right now, so one driver is not going to make it. You need to put up a good qualifying lap here. Charlie Widener will cross the stripe, and he will clock in 13th fastest. Scott Patton up into the top 5 as we welcome in the folks that are hanging out in the chat with us here this evening. Hello to Bill Walster, who is cheering on Riley Tilton back in the lineup here this evening. Joshua Motichek hopped in the chat earlier. I appreciate Joshua, Bailey, and Robin. Hello to the Motichek family. Hello to Marilyn Beck. Cheering on Will Kirk, who got off to a great start last week despite a rocky middle portion of the race. Finished it strong. Lisa Carroll. Cheering on Nathan Carroll, who was fastest in practice. Right now, P11 on the board for Nathan. And Big W Racing cheering on Chris Sargent, who also had a pretty solid finish last week. After a rough middle portion of the race. 4 drivers who will be making their outright Max V debut here this evening, or at least will be attempting to. One of those drivers is Alex Howland, another ASRL Wednesday night driver. And he is not the only one, with Rene Garcia as well as Josh Heggie, I believe, in the session here this evening. Ryan Nardone, big podium finish last week, and he will clock in 9th in the closing minutes and seconds of qualifying. About 20 seconds left to go. Nobody else is out on a lap. Just a couple of drivers out making some practice runs here as Nardone puts himself in the top 10. Appreciate everybody that's hanging out with us here already. It should be a good one here for the 3rd time in series history from Pocono Raceway here at the Tricky Triangle. Do you subscribe to the 3-turn that the big racetrack wants you to believe, or are you a 6-turn truther like I am? That's what I want to know.
I would have to go more of like a 5-turn because, I mean, the backstretch turn, it's not really 2. I mean, you kind of just in, out, and done. So, I mean, I'd have to go off the whim on a 5er.
Well, you're already putting more thought into it than I did. Dakota Floyd is back on the pole, and he needs to really rebound big time after last week. Did not get off to a good start. That is his 2nd career pole position. For your reigning series champion, James Lehman will start to his outside. Justin Michael, the most recent Pocono winner and a 2-time Pocono winner here on the channel. Starting in 3rd to last week's race winner, Scott Patton, to his outside on row number 2. Riley Tilton back in a big way will clock in 5th in qualifying with Rene Garcia. Excellent qualifying run for driver 74. Mike Milfelt back in the lineup here tonight. He'll start from 7th with Greg Mall to his outside, Ryan Nardone, and Christopher Howell also back here this evening. Starting in 10th, Justin Ritchie and Nathan Carroll back there on row number 6. Tyler Grenon, podium finisher last week, starts 13th here this evening with Tyler Hessling, finishing in the top 5 last week at Phoenix, starting 14th here this evening. Charlie Widener, previous Pocono winner here with Max V, lines up in 15th with Aiden Young back tonight, starting in 16th. Kyle Stewart and Matt Ronalasso on row number 9. Row number 10 is Stove Price Jr. and Jack Watts, who was very fast in practice, 20th quickest in qualifying here. Joshua Fracker, Heath Smith back there on row number 11. Riley Laverne, Billy Bumgardner, Alex Howland, Bill Paradise, Josh Heggie, Chris Sargent, Brandon Groover, and Rob Martin, the top 30. I do believe maybe Brad Slagle is going to be our DNF, or rather our DNQ here this evening from the looks of it. We'll see who rolls off pit road and who does not as the drivers will commence gridding. There's a look at the starting lineup again. Don't think we're going to be starting 44 here this evening. Brad Slagle is there in that position. So, with all that said, another look at the weather conditions before we roll off, and it is about the same, 123 degrees out on the track. This truck is already loose. That certainly does not help things. We're staring down 60 laps here this evening, Mr. Motichek. What are these drivers going to be planning for?
Yeah, so, I mean, definitely planning to save those tires best you can. Hot track kills them quickly, especially through that little dog leg there. 3 sets of tires is what they get. No fast repairs. Incident limits are still 16x is a drive-through, 21 is a disqualification, so bear that in mind when you're bouncing off the wall. 70% fuel should put the pit window around lap 22. 60 laps is the full distance, which will put the stage break at the end of lap 18. So definitely going to be an interesting, a pretty quick run to the stage break. 18 laps around. Pocono does tend to go pretty quickly if you can get stretched out.
EOL penalties being handed out. Omar Rodriguez, I believe Chris Sargent as well. Jack Watts, Kerry Cleaver, Will Kirk will have to start at the rear of this field as well. And Justin Michael, the only one of the drivers that was awarded a 1-lap stop and hold. That will be on the grid here this evening. The other two were C.J. McLaughlin and Rod Minton, and neither of them have elected to show up here this evening. They will have to serve that the next time that they appear for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Dakota Floyd and James Lehman on the front row. That will promote Riley Tilton to the inside of row number 2 with your most recent race winner, Scott Patton, to his outside. Mike Milfelt, Rene Garcia, the top 6 as we roll to the green. We're racing at Pocono.
Good even start. I know Floyd is looking for all he can get as Patton crosses over to the bottom.
Big dive here for the 46 of Patton. Floyd trying to hang on to this lead into turn number 1. And they are 3 wide for 4th with now Tilton backing up into the mix for the lead.
Rene Garcia around the top.
Garcia trying to take 3rd as Lehman, also around the top side, will take the lead. Headed now into the tunnel turn. This is where it could all go awry very quickly. Side by side is risky business, but you don't have much of a choice here on the opening lap. Pretty clean most of the way through the field. As Garcia takes 3rd outright from Patton. Here's Tilton down to the inside of the 46 of Patton. As James Lehman will lead the opening lap. Hello to Rob Martin in the chat. And hello to Rob Martin on the track as well. Trying to start to work his way forward.
Pretty smooth start thus far.
On board with Ryan Nardone, podium finisher last week at Phoenix, already working into the top 10 and out of the outside of Riley Tilton looking for 6th. Into the tunnel turn they go. And that was a little slip up there for Nardone, but keeps it out of the wall. Just showing a problem for Justin Michael. We'll try and investigate a little bit more on that here in a moment as that goes. Kyle Stewart is around off the front bumper of, I think, Tyler Grenott. And the caution is out as other drivers being collected there. That is Rob Haynes, who was sideways. So problems early here, lap number 3 under our first caution. As first we'll try and see what brings out the yellow here. And we'll pause it there and have to search around a little bit for Kyle Stewart. And that is definitely Tyler Grenott. 3 wide out of turn number 3. That is rough. Aiden Young on the outside. We'll see how they find themselves in this position in the first place here. I mean, they're 3 wide out of the tunnel turn. Nobody's given up. Just a little wiggle up the track there, and Young is out of room. Grenott with issues down into Stewart. Rodolasso polishing off the 10 truck there. And Rob Haynes already backwards. So we'll back it up and follow the 199 into this accident. Out of turn number 3. He's a little loose there, checking up, and Will Kirk cannot check up in time and tags Haynes, sends him around. And while we're looking at that, yeah, just showing Justin Michael jumping to the pits for some reason, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But either way, we're under our first caution of the evening.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Rob Haynes, but from that angle, I highly doubt that Will Kirk could see anything that was going on.
Definitely not. And we can actually ride on board with Will Kirk there as soon as I can find it. It's a lot of scrolling. Whenever somebody spins out towards the front of the field, the entire field is going to go past him, and I get a notification for every single pass. So there's a lot to scroll through, and I can't do it very quickly. Back it up just a little bit. Out of turn 3. You can see a little smoke. Will is off the gas, but by the time he is there, stack it up. So yeah, not much that he could do there. So from the, I was going to say from the looks of it, some folks came down pit road, but actually, I think we are trying to draw too many cars. My the server is not loving that. It tends to happen whenever you get more than about 35, 36 trucks. You start to skip around the field a little bit. So just to confirm, actually, Brad Slagle and Peyton Bass both did not start this race, so we had 42 drivers roll off. From the looks of it, Greg Parmalee pit on the pace lap and has not made a lap. So technically we've had 41 starters here with no Parmalee, Slagle, or Bass. I believe those three will all have the opportunity to rejoin the race at some point if they want. But they may all be out of the session already. Rob Haynes has just towed into the pits here on the pace lap. And a few other drivers making their way back down pit road as well. Matt Rodolasso, Tyler Granat, Aiden Young, Kyle Stewart, all involved in that one there. Will Kirk involved in that one, stays out. He is 23rd. But James Lehman and his buddy Dakota Floyd primed to be on the front row for the restart here. How about Rene Garcia? Going toe-to-toe with Scott Patton and getting up to third.
Beautiful start. Yeah, definitely on the cooler tires, a little bit off the bottom into one. Definitely seems to be the place to be. Both him and Lehman just powered around the top.
So he won't have that luxury unless he really finds himself in a good spot here on the restart. He'll be down on the bottom of the second row with Patton now on the top side, Floyd on the top side as well. So it could be the old switcheroo.
Six laps in and already a good bit of shaking up throughout the field. Lots of drivers moving up, moving down.
Biggest mover I'm seeing right now, not sure if that's correct. Will Kirk plus 18.
Yeah, 41 to 23rd.
I guess so.
Do believe that should be correct.
So he's plus 18, Zachary Groover plus 14, David Rigsby plus 13. Joshua Fracker, the closest to the front with a big number, he's plus 8 in the 13th position. Biggest mover inside the top 10 is Justin Ritchie, up 3 spots in the 8th spot. There on the outside of row number 4. James Lehman with the old +1 from the outside pole with control of the restart, electing the bottom here. Coming to put lap number 7 on the board this time. Again, we're chasing lap 18 for the stage. The green flag is back in the air.
Good jump for Lehman. Floyd able to hang on to that second spot.
Here comes the joys of Pocono. Riley Tilton sending it 3 wide, down low.
Patton looking way up to the top as well.
Garcia hugging the 46 there. So 3 wide behind them as well. These two get it sorted out for third. Lehman hangs on to the lead as we head again to the tunnel turn. And Garcia still side by side. Floyd right on Lehman's back bumper. Three wide again.
Yeah, Tilton not wanting to lose spots here.
Garcia moving the wrong direction as Mike Milfeld's gotten through. Tilton is through, and now Ryan Nardone looking up to the top side as they scramble out of 3.
Very good save.
Greg Mall hanging around the top 10 here. As Justin Ritchie, Christopher Howell side by side behind them. Getting a little single file up front.
Floyd
Never a bad
is
thing.
right on the bumper.
Got some folks cheering on Nathan Carroll in the chat. Hello to everybody. There's Nathan in the 14th position right now, trying to fend off Joshua Fracker and Riley Laverne. Back up into turn number 1 we go. Patton closing in on the top 2. Bringing Mike Milfelt with him. Oh, caution's out. Some shuffling in the back. I think... I don't know what I think, actually. Not an obvious spin, according to my instruments here. So we'll do what we always do and search around. I'm seeing a lot of passes being made on Chris Braley. That might very well be it. Oh, and it certainly is. Braley back with the series here this evening. I think that's Rob Martin to his inside. Jockey for space into turn number 1. Ooh, yeah, just was able to roll the middle a little bit nicer there than Braley. And that will send Braley up into the outside wall. And I don't want to say it, so I won't. But if it happens again, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
I think you know exactly what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. We are on the same page.
You know, I don't like taking that shot of any driver because usually that means something bad has happened to him. But I will say, Chris Braley's truck looking awfully nice with the Turn 200 logo on the deck lid. Appreciate that. Now we got a few drivers that run the channel logo on the truck. It's always greatly appreciated. So this will throw a wrench in a few things, especially with how long the caution periods are here. This track at Iowa, for whatever reason, just have unnecessarily long caution periods. So hopefully the sim can kind of get it in gear, but we'll see. We'll also see if anybody elects to come down this time. I wouldn't imagine if you weren't involved there that you'll be headed down pit road, but we'll see. Here's some looks. And the fake. I never bought it.
Nope.
You guys can do better than that.
Not with a stage caution in 7 laps.
Ooh, Josh Longbonds is going to do that in his debut. Get a little airtime for the 35. That's a pretty nice looking truck there. So Longbonds in the box. Aiden Young, Chris Braley, Chris Voiles, Rob Haynes, all down pit road. They've all been involved in incidents thus far, though. As now that we've got a couple seconds, I can actually see who commented. Michelle Kirk is here. Hello. Danielle Carroll. Hello. Zach Magris. Hello. And Parker Donaldson. Hello. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here this evening. Next week we're at Talladega. It's a double championship, double super speedway week next week on the channel. So we've got the Go Squadron Formula Super Series Monday night with their championship race live from Suzuka, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series will be live for the Rocket Man Memorial 85. That is their crown jewel race. It's at Daytona International Speedway. Kicks off the 10th season of the Venom Truck Series. Wednesday night, it's the final 2 races of the season for the SRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. And that will be live from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, the Montreal Formula 1 track. Catch us there at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. And then we go Super Speedway race into Talladega for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series next week. Sponsored by Rusty Wrench Motorsports. So yeah, 2 Super Speedways and 2 Championship Road Course races. I guess technically 3, but 2 nights of championship road course racing.
Excited to be a part of 2 of those.
There you go.
3, technically.
Well, yeah. You'll be a part of this.
Driving into.
There you go.
A couple of fuel calculations later. Theoretically, if you pitted right now and came out of the tail, you could pit on lap 35 with a little bit of fuel saving, and with a little bit more fuel saving, you could make it to the end and jump everybody who pits under the stage brake.
Fuel saving here in Pocono. The big, long, flat-out track down these humongous straightaways. A track where, you're very tempted at some points to go down and grab 3rd gear. Fuel saving is tough here. But, I mean, think of all the NASCAR Cup Series drivers and Xfinity Series drivers that have won here on fuel mileage. It's part of the culture here. I would not be shocked at all to see a few people roll the dice, especially early on in the season.
Is it doable? Yes. Is it realistic? Probably not. But if you're one of those drivers who is towards the back of this field, maybe a better option than trying to pass 30-plus cars.
Was it smart for Ryan Newman to carry the car around all the way here in 3rd gear back in, I think, 2003 or 2004, up to over 1,000 RPMs or 10,000 RPMs? No, probably wasn't, but he did it anyway. All right, we're coming back to lap 13 again. We'll have our stage break on lap 18. Lehman in control. That was not a great start there from Floyd, spinning the tires, and Patton might be able to take advantage as Milfeld will pile into the tailgate of the 57.
Patton with a good start. Riley Tilton also with a good start.
I seem to recall that outside line not firing off very well here a few months ago either. So Floyd drops back to 3rd. Patton is on the attack here, working over Lehman for the lead.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique one to restart on because that front stretch is so long, but it's also so wide. So you can really really make up a little bit of ground being a little bit lower on the track. So definitely, tilting into the wall hard.
That will break up the momentum you really need down the longest straightaway in NASCAR. If you don't get a good run out of turn 3, you're going to lose spots here in turn 1. Nardone will cut him a break and not go for the lunge into the first turn. Top 4 started to break away a bit as Nardone may have just caught a piece of the wall there out of turn number 1.
Ritzy single file most of the way back. Christopher Howell and Charlie Widener are side by side for the 10th position.
Howell down low, Widener up top. Charging Charlie +5 on the day thus far as Garcia nearly hits the wall. And there is one slow out of turn number 3, and it is Nathan Carroll. Doesn't look to be damaged, so maybe trying some pit strategy here, knowing he's not in line for any stage points. Very interesting call for the 63. We'll see how it works out as we're side by side for the lead. Lehman hangs on. Very well could have damage on that right side. It just didn't look like it. Some of these cameras are kind of zoomed down a bit.
Yeah, if memory serves correctly, last time we were here, he did try an alternate pit strategy.
Patton and Lehman really getting after it here. Oh, what's gotten into these Bandit boys? They've gone from racing hard to racing with contact as they are still duking it out for the lead. And all this is doing is punching a bigger hole in the air for Dakota Floyd. Pull it up.
Floyd following suit. Gonna get a little bit of a crossover out of the corner, get a little bit of momentum. Now Lehman to the bottom to break the toe.
2.5 laps to go at the big 2.5 miler, the tricky triangle. Until we get to our stage break here. Oh, Patton packing air in on James Lehman there, getting him loose, but Patton going to be the one to lose the most time here. This is a truck length into 3. Milfelt is here. Tilton is here. As Rene Garcia is off into the grass, trying to come to pit road. And I think he'll woe it up in time. That was close. As here goes Patton again. 2 to go in the stage. Good battle for some stage points further back.
Patton gonna look to the inside for the lead here. Even keel out of the tunnel.
Caution.
And the caution is out.
Issues for Stove Price Jr., who was battling for stage points there. There's another driver stopped on the inside wall. It's Riley Laverne. That's on the short chute between turns 2 and 3. That was a battle, I think, around 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Laverne with another crack of the wall there. So that will bring us to the stage break early. And I believe James Lehman is going to get credited with that one. So he'll be the second stage winner of the season.
Man.
As just jump to the bottom on me. I got to go all the way back up. All right, here we go. This is Stove Price. Oh, man, he got dove in on. That was Josh Heggie. Oh, my God. Good Lord, who was that? I don't think
that was Zachary Grover.
I don't think Zachary Grover's with us anymore. I think he's passed.
Hey, yeah.
So that was, I mean, that's a big dive there. And, you know, the tunnel turn is tough to judge. But certainly that's a lane and a half left open on the bottom. If you're running this middle line, you're probably not carrying very much speed in there. I mean, hard to fault Heggie for going for that hole, and then again, over and over, got bopped around there by Riley Laverne. Now, let's back this up and go see our poor buddy Zachary Groover here. I want to point out, I don't know how bad the damage is to the rest of the car, but the roof does not. It is incapable of taking damage here in the sim. So we'll see if he gets away with it. I mean, no, he did not get away with that one. The motor is gone. So great start to the season last week at Phoenix for Zachary Groover. Unfortunately, it is not the follow-up that he was looking for, as we'll back it up. Let's go kickpot cam here with Riley Laverne, who missed last week at Phoenix, back in the lineup here this evening. Yeah, shots there. I mean, Laverne trying to roll out of it there to keep out of Josh Heggie. It's not much similar to Will Kirk and Rob Ains earlier. You come up onto that quick, there's not much you could do. So Laverne is in trouble. So is Heggie for sure. If Stove Price is even able to continue, he'll be in trouble as well, as they are 4 wide on pit exit there. That was Greg Mall getting the squeeze put on there. Scott Patton wins the race off pit road, and it is our strategy drivers who are out still on the track, including Justin Michael, who had some early race problems, but he is back in the lead lap and in second. Behind Nathan Carroll, Rene Garcia, and Alex Howland, teammates here this evening. Both in their, Rene Garcia ran last week at Phoenix, but Alex Howland in his first Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series race here this evening. We'll line up on the outside of row number 2 with Scott Patton and now Dakota Floyd on row 3. James Lehman, the stage winner, came out 4th, which will put him 8th on the restart. Rob Martin on our last caution before this one says just drove it in a little too deep. That was a pure accident. Yep, that'll happen here. Pocono is a weird one to try and figure out kind of spatially what is going on. So that'll definitely happen. There is Price. Oh, that is not Price, rather. Whoops. As I think Garcia and Howland came down pit road. No, they're just dropping to the tail. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that one.
Yeah, I don't know either. That doesn't make any sense to me. They wouldn't have been able to take the wave around, and they wouldn't have been a lap down anyway. So, not quite sure what is going on there, but they will not be at the front for this restart. So that will put Justin Michael in position here with Nathan Carroll. To go to Floyd, Scott Patton, row 2. James Lehman, Mike Millfield, row 3. Riley Tilton, Christopher Howell, Charlie Widener, and Joshua Fracker. The top 10. Omar Rodriguez was feeling good about Pocono here this evening. Had an EOL. I think was probably a little bit further down on the practice starts than he was hoping to be, but he's just outside of the top 10 right now. So we'll see what Omar can do here from the outside of row number 7 from this restart. We could very well go caution-free from here on out. I wouldn't put money on it, but we could. We've averaged 7.5 cautions in our 2 Pocono races here, and 8 and a 7 respectively. So something tells me we are not done with the yellow laundry yet, as we're working our 3rd caution. First one, it wasn't our first one, not for incident, because it just so happened to be on the stage lap. But it's been a lot of chaos and calamity up to this point. We'll see if we can keep it clean and green from here on out. Back at our way. Carroll electing the outside. He's gotten a good getaway.
Great start.
Hopefully
Floyd gonna follow behind.
Hopefully not too good, as the field will get this long toe into turn number 1. 3 wide. Tilton. Millfield emerging from the middle. Oh, his Tilton is loose. Makes contact there with James Lehman. Michael to outright second. Patton looking to the inside of Floyd. But nothing will materialize here into 2. Lehman around the outside of Tilton, who's still loose there down on the bottom. Meanwhile, Michael with a great run out of 2 to the inside, looking for the lead into 3. Looking to clear up. Wasn't clear. Carroll going to chase him down the track, but Michael will lead the lap.
Still side by side off of 1. Very close quarters.
Carroll's run going to stall out as Michael did everything he can to pull him back with the side draft. Side by side into 2. Oh, and Carroll, I think, kept it out of the wall, but that was as close as it gets. Michael the point.
That's going to leave Carroll open to Floyd, who's going to throw a haymaker down. And Carroll is slowly moving backwards here.
Oh, and that's a
into the
big
wall.
shot there. Tags Scott Patton for good measure. Patton will save it. Carroll with a big shot. And the caution's out. There's Billy Bumgarner on the bottom of the track. Oh, that is Omar Rodriguez. Man, that was a locked and loaded jinx right there. Slowing into the outside wall. Brandon Groover in the vicinity as well. So we'll take a look at what puts us under caution number 4, and that is Brandon Groover hitting the wall out of turn number 3, turning down into Omar Rodriguez. Rodriguez is going to find himself in the middle of 3 wide here, which is never really what you want into turn number 3. Kyle Stewart to the outside, Tyler Granat to the inside. Super loose there. Groover going to try and sneak up top. Runs out of room into the wall. Rodriguez nearly blowing the truck over there. But that is a slow, grinding halt for both of them. And that is caution number 4. And that might be a well-timed one for Nathan Carroll, who, remember, was on that alternate strategy. That's how he saw himself to the front of the field after the stage. Few lap older tires. Now he'll be a couple rows back on this restart. With now right side damage, when do you pull the ripcord here if you're Nathan Carroll, or do you try and stick it out knowing you're still inside the top 5?
It's a hard strategy call there. I mean, it depends on how hard he hit the wall. If he's got damage, then he probably wants to pull it pretty quick. But outside of that, the tires run out pretty quickly and reach their plateau. So I wouldn't be too worried to count him out just yet.
Yeah, even with a tire disadvantage and maybe some right side damage as well. Don't forget, Carroll was fastest in practice earlier, so he's got the speed to hang at the front of this field. Just a question of, is this truck going to hold up here? And maybe can he jump on the leader's strategy and pick up a couple more spots, maybe make some kind of net gain out of it. But if there is one track you do not want aero damage at, other than, I guess, the super speedways, this is it. I mean, the longest straightaway in NASCAR, it is so draft dependent, especially in the trucks. You do not want to have any aero damage.
Yeah, it definitely makes a big difference.
And Carroll is coming in. You can see some scuffing there. It looks like maybe just a wrinkle on that right front fender, or right front wheel well, rather. So Carroll will come in, and the bad news for him is it looks like, other than Brandon Groover, he is the only one.
In and out already.
Yeah, 8 seconds of service there. There goes Riley Laverne to take the lucky dog. And Scott Patton, little clutch and coast here. I do mean a little. Wasn't anything too crazy. I don't want to jinx it again because I just took our buddy Omar out, basically. But it's got to be a good feeling for Dakota Floyd after last week to get back to business as usual.
Yeah, Floyd, very great season last season, able to clinch the title. Definitely unfortunate start to the season here, but I think he'll pick it right back up.
Well, I'll tell you this much, Marilyn. Thank you for letting me know, because I didn't even realize that we still had our chase graphics on there. I deleted those last week, and for some reason, they're back. So I will get rid of those actually right now, because they were not supposed to be still on here, considering they weren't last week. So thank you for letting me know.
That is A-okay. We still have a couple drivers who have the chase spoilers as well, so.
You know, you always want to be in playoff mode mentally.
That's right.
But we don't need to be.
Well, I mean, they looked apart, right?
Sure. Okay, it should be fixed now. Thanks for the heads up. Well, Justin Michael's got control of this field. He's a little bit off sequence, but the thing that will help that out is the fact that he's Justin Michael. And he's at Pocono, a track that I think in all the Turn 200 races he's participated in here, he's only lost one.
So, in all technicality, Justin Michael is the biggest mover.
That's
Qualified
true.
third, but did start with an EOL, so.
Yep, kept quiet, didn't make a lot of noise at the start of this race. And that was not a bad thing at all. Had a one-lap stop-and-hold penalty. Served it, got back on the lead lap, off sequence, now finds himself to the lead. Working our fourth caution of the night thus far. Michael and Floyd, row 1, Patton and Milfelt on row 2, Lehman Howell, row 3, Tilton Widener, row 4, Fracker and Mall, the top 10. As we come to put lap 27 up on the board, this time we're back at our way.
Again, the top not getting a great start.
Patton looking to clear for P2. That'll make Michael work for it to hang on to the lead, but now Patton opens the door for Floyd to look down low. Lehman and Milfelt side by side for spot number 4. As Patton will clear.
Not quite able to do it. Gonna tuck back in line.
Lehman rolls out of it and nearly gets a bumper for his troubles there. Oh, Tilton right up to the wall. Howell looking underneath.
Oh, a little bit of rubbing.
Just a bit. Tilton with a cross.
Over.
Nice.
Very good move, but Howell has the draft.
And unfortunately for Tilton, Howell has a teammate in Widener that's going to stick with him. Still door to door.
Oh!
Tyler Granat up into the wall hard. We're still green.
lot of damage on that number 18 truck.
Everything's sorted out at the front of the field for now. As Riley Tilton tucks into line between Widener and Tilton, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Top four have separated. Michael, Patton, Floyd, and Millfelt. As Tyler Granada's brought that truck down pit road. I'm sure with a lot of damage to fix, Riley Tilton is back to it. Underneath Charlie Widener here into 3. Let's see if we can get a full lap in here on the onboard with Riley Tilton. The longest straightaway in NASCAR. 3 distinct turns modeled after real life tracks. Turn number 1 is the long departed Trenton Speedway. Turn number 2 will be a lot more familiar. They call it the tunnel turn because it's got the infield access road running underneath of it. It's modeled after the turns at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And turn number 3, much flatter, modeled after the Milwaukee Mile, the oldest oval in the United States, contrary to popular belief. It's a weird track. Don't know why it works, but it does. That was a lap on board with Tilton as Scott Patton is looking now to make a move for the lead to the inside of Justin Michael. Michael may be right where he wants to be. A little bit vulnerable on this outside, but he's going to carry more momentum down the straightaway here.
Definitely think we're starting to see a little bit of that tire difference come into play.
Very well could be. And this is not where you want to be on the outside of turn number 2. Dangerously close to sliding into the wall. And Patton will have the inside line here into the final turn. Oh, Mike Millfeld has to track it all the way to the paint to hang on to that one. As James Lehman has joined the party. They'll be side by side for 4th. Nope, Lehman will come away with it as Patton again looking down low into 1. Patton a little bit off the bottom there. I'm sure trying to squeeze Justin Michael. As now Dakota Floyd might have a decision here on whether or not he's going to have a go on Patton or if he's going to try and help get him through Justin Michael. Oh, and Widener and Tilton making contact there to 2. I thought for sure
Still
they were
going at it.
They were going to get wrapped together there and head into the inside wall. They still might here out of 3. That's the battle for 7th. We'll jump back up front. Patton right there on the quarter panel. Wow, that was close. Inches to spare between both trucks. Michael loose. And Patton back it up now. Tilton the Widener right back to side-by-side racing for 7th. As Patton again going to make his move.
Yeah, I think the backup there was to get a little bit more of a draft,
And
a
he
little bit
is
more of a tug.
going to force his hand here and slide right up in front of Michael. Floyd with a run, but he might take it to the back bumper of Michael instead.
Michael, a little brush of the wall.
Well, gyro cam action here, riding on board with James Lehman in fourth. Lehman going to take a look to the inside of Dakota Floyd.
Floyd faster off the corner. Now going to take a look underneath Justin Michael.
Say Michael might be in a bit of trouble here on the older tires now in dirty air. I mean, he was already struggling to hold on with the clean air in front. Might just start to compound a little by little here on Justin Michael as he is fighting to hold on to second.
Lehman now right underneath both of these guys. And Milfeld's going to join the party.
Yeah, why not? Throw the 155 in the mix here. Is Michael maybe a bit too high? Oh, Floyd not quite close enough to clear them. As it is second through fifth under a blanket here as Scott Patton has pulled out to a 6/10 of a second advantage at the front of the field. Tilton has stabilized in front of Charlie Widener. And don't look now, but Christopher Howell is closing into the mix here.
Yep, all this battling slows down big time.
Here's Howell's
Lehman.
view of it all as Lehman looking underneath Floyd again.
Floyd with a good run through. Now Widener looking to the outside of Lehman.
Oh,
Caution
caution.
is out.
That is Will Kirk on the inside wall. Troubles for him. Running inside the top 20 now. Will slide all the way to the back of the field with quite a bit of front-end damage from the looks of it. As we are under caution here for the fifth time. With 24 laps to go.
Also slow.
It's not been quite the night we expect from Jack Watts after the EOL penalty to start. So here's Kirk at a 2, and it's already happening in front of Kirk. And again, just not finding the break there in time with Watts slow in front. Well, let's see what happens to Watts first. Oh, that's Rene Garcia, who is going to lose control, tag Watts. More contact there. Watts has it saved, and then we'll get a bump from behind from Will Kirk. I would imagine the thinking there for Will was that Watts was either going faster or was going to stay a little bit further down the track. But either way, that is not a good result for Will Kirk there. What are we going to do here? Nobody faking this time. Everybody's coming down pit road. All of the top 20 are in. And this will put Justin Michael back on sequence with everybody else.
And this should theoretically put everyone to the end as well.
Yes. Probably not going to be good for overtime if we need it. But that's problems for a later lap. Race off goes to Patton. Michael out second. Floyd out third. Milfelt, Howell now into the top 5. Lehman back to 6th. Widener, Tilton, Justin Ritchie into the top 10, and Tyler Hesseling will round out the top 10. Again, not a single lead lap driver stayed out that time. I promised random factoids and statistics as I continue to compile the all-time stat book on Turn 200. How about this for a stat book? Scott Patton has led the most laps on Turn 200. And coming into tonight, of course, that number isn't the same right now. But the number coming into tonight was 24-24. 2,424.
That's a lot of laps.
That is a lot of laps.
That's a lot of laps to drive, nonetheless lead.
Yeah. No argument for me there.
I don't know if I've driven that many laps on the channel just in general.
Yeah, that's one thing I need to do is laps completed. I'm sure there are some drivers who have made a lot of starts, looking at Matt Schlosser in particular. I dread to think what that lap count is, because it's got to be a lot. Well, this is going to be a good old-fashioned Patton v. Michael Donnybrook at the front of the field with maybe a dash of Dakota Floyd. Or, it was a Patton v. Michael showdown here back in 2024 as well, when Charlie Widener just came out of nowhere and cleaned house. So could we be in for another spoiler here this evening? Could it be Mike Milfelt, who was also tantalizingly close to victory that evening? Why not? He's been up here all night.
Yeah, definitely a few guys inside the top 10 who could do it. Justin Ritchie was one of the fastest guys in practice. So keeping an eye on him as well.
There's the 3 of Ritchie. Last week did not quite get off to the season start that he was hoping for. Finished 19th. Could very well rectify that here this evening. Coming to 21 laps to go. And it's on up front. Patton, Michael, Floyd, Milfelt, Howell, Lehman, the top 6. Back at her way.
Good start from the inside.
Michael with one of the better starts we've seen from that outside, but Patton's still able to gap him by a couple of truck lengths here into turn number 1. But Michael closes that gap right up as it is a mess from Floyd on back. Lots of side-by-side. Matt Ronalasso near the top 10 on the outside, looking to make some ground here.
Three wide into the tunnel.
Oh boy, that's a recipe for disaster.
Justin Ritchie gonna back out.
Yeah, very smart. Lots of contact. How about Stove Price Jr., who was wrecked not 20 laps ago, back close to the top 10 here, inside the top 15.
Yeah, Rob Haynes as well, also right there in the mix.
Nice. Some folks making their way towards the front right when it matters most. 20 to go. Howell running the middle, trying to tow Charlie Widener along and get him in front of Riley Tilton, and it works. Tilton back to 8th, Rodolasso up to 9th. Tyler Hesseling right now rounding out the top 10. First time we've said Heath Smith's name here tonight. He'll try and find his way up into the front 10.
Oh. Big slide from Widener. Tilton gonna look underneath.
Oh, baby. Riley Tilton was awfully disappointed with how last season went. Got taken out with internet and hardware issues about halfway through the season. Always a contender, always a front runner rather. And has got right back to battling here this evening inside the top 10. Hardly has left it all night long.
Lehman now back up into the 4th position around Millfelt.
And what do you know, Patton, Michael, and Floyd breaking away just a little bit, but we'll see if Lehman and company can catch up. So I would imagine Michael and Floyd are trying to bank a little bit of tire life here.
Yeah, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be those two. Patton down the middle to break the toe.
You can see Floyd had the run there into turn number 1, doesn't take it, stays tucked in right behind Justin Michael, trying to close this gap up as much as possible and trying to get away from Lehman and Millfelt. But only one of those things worked. Lehman and Millfelt are here. And Michael is here for the lead. It took a little pump fake there into 2.
Floyd knows it's going to take a little bit of work, not only just to get up to that silver spot, but to get up front.
And Michael almost employing super speedway tactics. I know we saw Patton do it earlier, but backing up to Floyd in turn number 3, looking for a bit of a push down this straightaway and looking for the long toe into turn number 1. Not enough of a run to make the move, but he is chipping away at it with Patton leading. The top 5 all nose to tail. Second verse, same as the first. Here comes Christopher Howell in 6th. With the potential to really kind of daisy chain the rest of this field together as they are all nose to tail behind Howell.
Yeah, definitely bringing it back together. And I almost wonder, as much work as Justin Michael is doing, if he is just hanging on and being patient, not wanting to be out front quite yet.
We saw Michael earlier, granted with a little bit of a tire disadvantage for him, but, I mean, it looked to be loose in clean air. And we know right now he's got to be tight in the dirty air. So it's just a driver preference at this point, I would imagine.
Yeah, you can see Patton rolls into the corner a little bit higher, and the rest of the field kind of rolls in a little bit shallower. Definitely Patton trying to keep the car on the right rear instead of the right front.
Nathan Carroll up 5 spots on this restart, up to 19th. As Floyd got loose there, might open the door for Lehman. You saw Riley Tilton getting loose in the background of that shot. He still rides in 8th, as Lehman gonna have a go here for 3rd. Widener and Tilton
quite.
Trying to pedal it up here. Go ahead.
Lehman not quite going to have it. Going to have to tuck back in line.
Now, if I were Tilton, I know he wants to be ahead of Charlie Widener here, but you guys are so close to this line. I would stay tucked in behind Widener. But no, these guys are going to trip each other up.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's probably the better strategy call.
I mean, these two have been running each other ragged the last 10 or 15 green flag laps, but you got to be in it for the win here, and now they're just backing up to Matt Rodolasso here in 9th. We'll see if they can get a little bit more organized here. Coming to 14 laps to go as the top 6 are looking to check out.
That being said, that top 6 starting to string out a little bit. Lehman with a little bit of a gap up to Floyd.
Could be looking for some kind of run. Maybe the handle's starting to go away here.
Yeah, looking at about 10 laps on tires. Track temp still 123 degrees.
Oh, Lord.
So definitely not doing the tires any favors.
Nope, it just keeps being too hot. That's Venom Truck Series hot. That's a Kyle Zittel track temperature if I've ever heard one. I guess an 80 Poliski track temperature. Is Tilton finally able to make this pass happen? We'll see if Widener will be the one to push the 58 towards the front of the field, but they've got 1.2 seconds now up to Howell. And another 7/10 up to the race leader after that.
Yeah, Tilton not quite within that draft range.
Not here.
Definitely not here.
Talladega might be all right next week. This ain't Talladega. This is a triangle. Oh, trouble.
Caution.
Not seeing any movement on the leaderboard here. So it might have
looks
been...
like-
Oh, it's Omar Rodriguez.
Rodriguez again.
Already running towards the tail end of the lead lap. That's why I didn't see any positions change as I hit the wrong button. So we'll go in search of the caution here as he's just kind of stopped in the middle of the track with 12 laps to go. I think going to get it in motion now. Oh, boy. Rodriguez slowing up for something. I don't know what. I mean, he's out of the throttle a good 5 to 6 seconds before you would kind of expect him to, and I would imagine Kerry Cleaver didn't realize what was going on and piles into the back of Omar Rodriguez there. Well, well, well. If it isn't our 6th caution of the night. Little Nathan Carroll update. He got 2 more spots after that last call out, so he's up to 17th currently. So as Danielle says in the chat, chipping away at it. That's all you can ask for at this point in the night.
Very curious to see what the strategy play is going to be. Only 11 laps on these tires. But with how hot the track is, some freshies might not be such a bad idea.
It might split the field here a bit. Not splitting the front runners except for Floyd, who will stay out. He will keep Justin Ritchie out with him. Looks like Kyle Stewart is staying out. But those are the 3. Everybody else is in.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd, definitely don't blame him for that gamble. Scoring basically nothing last week. He definitely wants every point he can. As well as, I'm sure, just that trophy.
Should be a 9-lap run to the checkers as looks like a 2-tire call for James Lehman. He will win the race off. Similar call for Charlie Widener. Out second. It is a dead heat between Michael and Patton. I think Michael beats Patton out. So that's 3 spots lost on top of the other 3 that stayed out. Patton going to be back to 7th on this restart. Even with 4 fresh tires, that's not a whole lot of time to get things in motion here. And especially since at Pocono, late race restarts mean one thing. Even with all this space, all this wonderful real estate on this track, everybody going to be jockeying for about the same lane and a half, and it usually ends in catastrophe. Doesn't matter what kind of car. It's late races are problematic here for team owners.
Definitely a pretty good shakeup here inside the top 5.
Kyle Stewart involved in the first caution here this evening. Ran really well last week at Phoenix to start the race. Involved in an accident there. And then by the end of the night, was right back at the front of the field and ended up with a top 5. It could very well be a similar situation here as he finds himself up front late. We'll look to restart on the inside of row number 2 with James Lehman, who looked to take 2 tires there on that stop. Same for Charlie Widener, who will be to the inside of Justin Michael, who took 4. Nathan Carroll looks like he did pick up another spot on the pit stop, so he will be on the outside of row number 8 here for this restart. Mike Milfeld's had a really good night. He's back now on the outside of Scott Patton here on row number 4. With some work to do, Christopher Howell, Ryan Nardone round out the top 10. Some other fan favorites rolling through the field. Greg Mall right now is in the 12th position. Heath Smith is in 14th. Of course, Nathan Carroll back there in 17th. Or rather, in the 16th position. Will Kirk right now is in 18th. Chris Sargent in 21st. And I think that's it for our regular chatters, as Wally Turheimer is not in the field this evening. Dakota Floyd up front. This would be the ultimate rebound, that's for sure.
Definitely had good pace all night. Qualified on the pole.
Lights came back on the pace truck, so somebody must have stopped on the track. And we will go another lap here under the caution to make it an 8-lap shootout. So that is Jack Watts coming back down pit road. Been a rough night for him.
Track temp has come down 2 degrees.
Well, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. I can't imagine those 2 degrees are going to make much of a difference, but it can't hurt.
Still hot enough to fry some eggs.
I'm not sure this is one of the places that I would eat off the floor. With all due respect to Pocono Raceway. I was just in the Poconos last month. Beautiful part of the country. Excited to hopefully someday come to the Tricky Triangle, but I ain't eating off the track surface, unfortunately. Who will be eating here after the next 8 laps? 20 miles left to go. Pace truck will hang a left. It's Floyd and Ritchie, Stewart and Lehman to the green.
Oh, the top getting checked up big time.
That's Ritchie staying out on the old tires. Allows for a great getaway here for Floyd into 1.
Here goes Patton, gonna make it 3 wide up the bottom.
Oh, and Widener crowding Lehman there in a little contact.
Into the wall hard.
Oh, Lehman pounds the wall. He'll be headed backwards here in a hurry as drivers scramble to not get collected and not get held up. Dakota Floyd on point, Ritchie in second, Stewart in third. Widener and now Patton. Side by side for fourth as
Oh,
that's Mike Milfeld.
Oh, Rodolasso, hang on.
Whoa! Oh, and
Oh.
Maul gets cleaned out by Trent Drum. Couple of close calls before that one. But that is the magic 7th caution. And will send us knocking on the door of overtime right up against regulation. When I say magic, it wasn't magic for Greg Maul or Mike Milfeld, that's for sure. Lots of stacking up behind where James Lehman tagged the wall. Let's see if this is a result of that. Looks like it's going to be Milfeld and Rodolasso coming together here on the bottom of the circuit with Ryan Nardone nearby. Yeah, Milfeld drifting down right as Rodolasso's drifting up. And Rodolasso gets tagged from behind from Greg Maul. That will send them scrambling. 1 through, 2 through, and Drum is the third time charm there. Unfortunately. David Rigsby was one of the drivers to get through there. I didn't see who the other one was. Let's see if we can get a better eye on it here. That's a hard shot for Milfeld. That's effectively going to end his race, I would imagine. The first one through at basically full tilt was Billy Bumgardner. Rigsby gets through. Jack Watts has to slam on the brakes. And one more time, we'll take it kickpot cam here. This is Trent Drum coming off a great finish last week at Phoenix. And not going to be able to follow it up here this evening. Trying to follow the same line as Rigsby. Rigsby with the last second dart, and Drum not able to match and will pile in to the Shitty Coolers Ford F-150. Justin Ritchie, despite a sluggish start there, still able to hang on to second.
Yeah, the three who did not pit under the last caution still 1, 2, 3.
And that is exactly what Floyd wanted to see. I mean, he had already built himself up, I think, enough of a gap. If we did go green the rest of the way, I don't know if he would have been caught, or at least it would have been close. But now we're just chipping away enough laps here, where even if Widener and Patton can decide amongst themselves who has got the pace to go for the win, it may not matter. They may not have enough time.
It may be a long track, but it does not take long to get around it.
No, it does not. These drivers are going very fast. Let's take a look at James Lehman, the right side of his truck after a hard shot into the wall. Some damage concentrated on that right rear wheel well, but again, you don't really cut down tires due to damage. I don't know if that was hard enough to knock the toe out. It looks okay. Looking at the steering wheel, it's pretty much straight. Maybe a couple minutes past 12, but that could just be a steering offset as well. So I think the big issue for Lehman here is he's back to 10th now. And presumably on 2 tires as well, in amongst a bunch of drivers with 4.
Definitely a pretty good mix-up on strategy here inside the top 10. Couple drivers on 4, couple drivers on 2, couple drivers on none.
Richie in a position to battle for his 3rd career podium here in Max V and what is his 10th start this evening. Kyle Stewart looking to make it 1 for 2. No shame in batting 500. Charlie Widener looking for what would be a second Pocono win in his Max V career on the outside of row number 2. Scott Patton there looking for 2 in a row to start the season back in 5th. Christopher Howell looking for his first since the championship race of 2024.
I think we're gonna see a Patton looking like a bat out of hell here on this restart.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. We'll see if Floyd can pull off another great restart here, if Richie can fire off a little bit better from the outside. If Stewart or Widener have anything for the win. If Patton and Howell can sneak in here late. 4 to go.
Man, big stack up.
Neither line got going if you weren't Dakota Floyd, and Patton is looking to the inside of Stewart here.
Yeah, Patton went to look. Stewart blocked it off. Patton's still going to put it 3 wide.
Oh,
Right
contact!
at the door.
That sends Stewart up the track into Widener. Patton trying to sneak through as they continue to bounce off doors. Justin Michael now looking down low.
Patton going to get through now to the door of Charlie Widener.
Widener up a spot, Patton up a spot as Stewart slides backwards. Here they go, battling for third. Doors open for Justin Michael. He's going to take it. No, he gets loose. Can't take it.
Here comes Howell.
Trouble. Caution's out.
Oh, there goes Stewart.
Oh, and after the caution comes out, Stewart up the track. But problems further back as I think it was Mike Milfield again. And that will send us to overtime. Oh, Mike Milfield is middle low of 4 wide out of turn number 2. As there's a truck loose in front. That looks like Rob Haynes. And it is. Then Omar Rodriguez up the track in front of Milfield. As they're all scrambling to avoid. That's just a few cars going around. Well, now what?
I think this might cause a little issue for the no pit crew. They're going to be looking pretty tight on fuel.
Now, they have had a few cautions and several caution laps to try and save, but you're right. It was already going to be close on their last pit stop. Now we're going to do a couple extra laps. This is probably not exactly what Floyd was hoping for, as again, he had gotten a decent getaway. He wasn't going to be quite out of danger there. Widener and Patton disposing of Kyle Stewart. Stewart with a bit of a bobble there under the caution, but hangs on for a spot in the top 10 here on this restart. But Widener and Patton slated to start on row number 2. Justin Michael will now start in 5th. Boy, oh boy.
I think based off of where Floyd has been going, I'm going to say that Charlie Widener is probably in one of the best spots for this restart.
He very well could be. Yeah, wouldn't it be something if he could do it again here at Pocono? I'm sure he's probably thinking the same thing.
I have no doubt.
They call him Charging Charlie, and by they, I mean me. But this is career start number 76 tonight with Max V. 2 wins, one of them coming here at Pocono. But, did not get off to a great start last week at Phoenix. Finished in 32nd after multiple problems there. Up 12 from the drop of the green as we head into overtime. Looking to join Justin Michael in the multiple winners club at Pocono on the channel. I don't hear much clutching and coasting for Widener. Oh, I guess he wouldn't. Let's go on board with Dakota Floyd here. Certainly breathing the throttle in the low gears. Trying not to consume very much fuel, but not taking it down to neutral either. Three attempts at a green, white, checkered. This will be our first. And I just realized now, I don't know why this got all screwed up. Why does this say chase at Darlington? Goodness gracious. We're back to TV magic here, folks. Are you ready? I don't know why even bother changing stuff at the beginning of the night if it's just going to do what it wants. Oh, well.
At least we can see the race.
That is true. Oh, it's not over yet. Boy, I have never been less certain about an outcome than I am right now. I think it is all to play for. I think even looking past Row 3, Riley Tilton, Kyle Stewart, Ryan Nardone, James Lehman. You never know what's going to happen on a late race restart at Pocono, especially headed into overtime. Floyd's gotten away pretty good, but now he's got Widener and Patton behind him chomping at the bit. And if those three all get to tripping all over each other, Justin Ritchie's been able to hang once he's been able to fire off from the restart.
Definitely anybody's game at this point.
Potentially the final 5 miles of the night. It's overtime attempt number 1 here at Pocono. Green flag is back in the air again. Floyd fires off so well, and Widener is able to clear for second.
Yeah, Widener, beautiful restart. Patton
3
gonna get
wide.
pulled back. Owen Lehman's into the door.
I'll be amazed if we make it through the
Hang on
tunnel
to it.
turn. As Widener is looking, he's got room to the outside of Floyd, headed into 2. Justin Michael slicing and dicing, 3 wide for the lead. Michael rolls out of it.
Widener's high. Oh, Tilton on the
Oh,
wall.
Riley Tilton, caution is out.
It's going to be a big one.
That is a big one. Will Kirk is involved. There's Justin Ritchie,
Oh,
Josh Heggie, Joshua Fracker. I mean, the track is completely blocked. Good God. What a
absolute
mess.
parking lot.
And it's looking like at the time of caution, Charlie Widener scored as the leader. But where do we even start here? I guess we're going to have to start looking for Riley Tilton, as he was the first one darting to the outside wall. Yeah, that is Justin Ritchie that was there to the outside.
Oh, man. Christopher Howell. What a move there.
Yeah, Tilton just working, pushing up off the bottom of the track there. Just everybody has kept their foot in it, and it is a mess. There's Chris Sargent, who I think is going to come away okay, a couple of shots, but he's not in any of that. Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it envelop here, truly. I mean, where can you go? Every escape route that was there 2 seconds later is blocked, and you've made the wrong choice. Let's go kickbot game here with Greg Mall, as it's going to open up in front of him. Yeah, pick your spot there real quick. Mall does the good thing and just comes to a stop. Other drivers, without that luxury, just going to pile right into the middle of it. We'll take one more look from Joshua Fracker, I think. He's going to be right in the heartbeat of this one. Oh, yeah. Tries to throttle through the crash. There was no chance he was getting through that one. And that will wipe out what was a decent run for Fracker to this point. Yikes.
I thought we weren't supposed to have the big one until Talladega.
It's just a little free preview. That's Pocono. To a T. It bottles up so quickly. Even at this ginormous track, there's nowhere to go. Can you imagine if Talladega or Daytona had their backstretch wall just about 10 feet below the apron? I don't think anybody would finish any of those races.
No.
And we're not too terribly off from those speeds. At least you have to lift in the corners here. But, I mean, these guys are still hauling the mail. 170, 180 down into the corners. As Rob Martin says, major brown pants moment. Yes. Well, that was going to be very interesting between Widener, Floyd, and Michael. I'm afraid with Floyd not being the control car here that he might get shuffled out of this mix. And that's going to bottle up Scott Patton as well. I would imagine Widener going to take the inside here, and he will. So let's reset this top 10 for you now. Widener, the leader, elects the inside. He'll have Dakota Floyd to his outside. Justin Michael, Scott Patton on row 2. Christopher Howell and James Lehman on row 3. Kyle Stewart and Stove Price Jr. back in to row number 4. Ryan Nardone and Billy Bumgardner, the top 10. Rene Garcia and Rob Martin on row 6. Rob Haynes and Chris Surgeon on row 7. Brandon Groover, Bill Paradise, Tyler Hessling, Omar Rodriguez, Nathan Carroll, and Alex Howland, the top 20. I have no idea what we can expect here for overtime attempt number 2.
Hopefully a little bit less chaos.
Yeah, maybe.
But there is no telling.
That's, I think, more wishful thinking at this point. I think the other
One can
thing...
dream.
Yeah. The other thing to point out is we did just hear, for anybody that has left-right headphones like I do, there on that quarter panel shot, you could hear Dakota Floyd saving fuel. It has got to be running down pretty low at this point.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd last pitted on lap 38.
Yikes.
Not only that, but he will have 26-lap-old tires. Probably the oldest tires of the night.
Definitely the oldest tires of the night. It's all looking up Charlie Widener. If he can execute on this restart, he might have an opportunity to get back to victory lane here in Pocono. But he'll have to fend off Floyd, Michael, and Patton. Back to green. 2 to go. Not a good start
Pretty
for Floyd.
good. Patton going to leave him to dry down onto the bottom.
Michael is through to second. Patton will look to clear for third. Floyd into the wall.
Yeah, Lehman into the wall behind as well.
Justin Michael. Cue up the Jaws theme here for Charlie Widener. He's got Michael lurking in the background.
Dun. Oh! Rob Haynes into the wall hard.
Patton cannot shake Dakota Floyd. Might be able to out of 3. Here's Michael with a look down low, coming to the white flag. Race is official. And we are drag racing into 1.
Jack Watts has towed back to the pits from further back in the field.
Widener looking for a run here on the outside. A little contact.
If they aren't careful, Patton's going to have the run.
Certainly punching a big hole for the 46. He's closing up quickly. Widener going to have to try and keep Michael bottled in down low. They're going to make contact. Widener is loose. Widener going to save it, but he's out of it for the win. Here comes Christopher Howell. Justin Michael trying to hang on out of turn number 3. To the checkers. Justin Michael going to survive here at Pocono. Howell in second, Floyd in third, Lehman in fourth, Stove Price Jr. going to round out the top 5. Scott Patton having to check up out of turn number 2 to avoid Charlie Widener. Finishes back in 7th, Widener in 10th. Man. Well, that was a wild one. No other way around that. We'll let Justin Michael burn it down once again as a race winner for the first time this season. Win number 17 in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. His second here at Pocono. Oh. And was that it? Or did he just disappear on my screen? I think that was it. Okay. Well, let's give this a shot here. We'll follow him all the way out of turn number 1. I think Widener was where he wanted to be on the outside, able to get some momentum out of the first turn, but not enough to clear, and you definitely didn't want to be where you were on the outside, headed into turn number 2. Widener having to keep him pinched down as close as possible. I don't know that they touched there. I don't know that they touched. That.
I think there may have been a little bit of netcode involved there.
Yeah. It was close, but I don't think they touched. And that sucks. I think they were going to have some kind of similar effect to that out of the turn because they were going to have to wash up the track. They may have made some actual contact there eventually, but that wasn't real contact that set that off from the looks of it on my replay anyway. Other replays may differ. But Michael able to hang on after that one. Patton having to check up to keep it out of the back of Charlie Widener there. Going to drop back to 7th, and that is disappointing for him after leading a bunch of laps here this evening. All right, I guess we will get to your full finishing rundown after a wild night at Pocono for round number 2 of the season. This is how they will wind up after 2 overtimes here this evening. The win going to Justin Michael for the 17th time in Max V competition. Christopher Howell will sneak in for a podium late. Dakota Floyd on the old tires with no fuel left will round out the podium here this evening. We'll talk to all 3 of these gentlemen momentarily. Fourth for James Lehman. In his debut here tonight, Stove Price Jr., after bringing out an early caution, will rally for a top 5. Great night for driver 29. Ryan Nardone up to 6th there late in the running. Scott Patton back to 7th. Rene Garcia sneaking in for a top 10. He'll finish in 8th. Billy Bumgarner, 2 top 10s in a row. He will finish in 9th with Charlie Winder, disappointing back into 10th. Kyle Stewart, 11th. Nathan Carroll will sneak up for 12th. It's Rob Haynes in 13th. Chris Surgeon, Alex Hallen, the top 15. 16th for Rob Martin. Brandon Groover, David Rigsby, Josh Longbens, and Greg Mall, the top 20. Trent Drummond, 21st. Tyler Hessling in 22nd. 23rd for Omar Rodriguez Jr. It's Bill Paradise in 24th. Michael Vann, 25th. Josh Hagee in the 26th position. It's 27th for Jack Watts. Joshua Fracker in 28th. Riley Laverne in 29th. And Kerry Cleaver in 30th. 31st for Riley Tilton. Heath Smith in 32nd. Chris Voiles, 33rd. Will Kirk in 34th. Justin Ritchie, 35th. And then I think DNFs from here on out. Mike Milfeld, 36th. Matt Rodolasso, 37th. Chris Braley in 38th. Tyler Granat in 39th. Aiden Young, 40th. And 41st for Zachary Groover after a wild ride that he took earlier. Greg Parmalee kind of started this race, but not really. And Peyton Bass and Brad Slagle both took the DNQ. Well, after a wild one here, we will go looking for your podium finishers. And it's didn't get to talk to Dakota Floyd after a disappointing race, to say the least, last week at Phoenix. But he's back up in booth 200 here tonight after a really strong showing at Pocono. Welcome back, and congrats on the podium.
Thank you, sir. Feels good to be back.
Now, making that strategy call there late to put yourself out with a little bit of buffer, I would imagine you probably wanted to see some more green flag running there on the old tires, and I would imagine the pretty light fuel load there by the end.
Yeah, I think about 2 restarts earlier, I think I had it locked up pretty good because it was so hard to pass, regardless if you had the better tires or not. Dirty air was such a key factor tonight. So yeah, if I think we had it 2 restarts earlier, I think we were in really good shape. But we got really lucky with some incidents happening out of turn 2 there. So, but nonetheless, good points showing, like you said, after a not so fun disconnect at Phoenix. So I'm just happy to be up here.
Joshua, what you got for the series champ?
Congrats on the P3. Definitely a much better finish than last week. I mean, walk us through, what are your thoughts as a driver when you're sitting there and you see caution after caution and the race go into overtime?
I just, hoping that I could keep stacking up these restarts and getting a good jump and just be clean into turn 1. I think that was key. If you could just have enough buffer before getting to the tunnel turn, nobody getting to your inside or anything, and just kind of start setting the rhythm for the entire field. So I think that was what I was most focused on, those restarts. So it was definitely getting a lot more nerve-wracking as we got, but P3 nonetheless.
Well, great to get to talk to you once again here tonight. Congrats on the podium, and let's get some shout-outs in as usual.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to shout out the team first and foremost. We almost had everybody tonight. Had one, Kyle Peacock, couldn't make it again this week, so hope to see him next week. And but everybody else showed up tonight, so it was awesome to race with everyone again. And shout out to the league. I know it's a full field and a lot of new faces, so we're gonna buffer this thing out as we go. So, but it was good racing up front. It was really fun racing Justin, Scott, James, Chris, Mike Melfeld, all those guys. So shout out to those guys for racing me super clean, and thanks to the admins of the league that I know they're gonna have a long night looking over these incidents. So shout out to what those guys do to keep this thing running. Thanks to all the sponsors, CNC Home Designs for sponsoring the Truck Series as always, and thank you guys at the broadcast booth for always doing an awesome show. I love watching these things back. Regardless of what happens in my race, it's always cool to see what's going on in everybody else's race, and thanks to everyone that supports me.
Absolutely, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight, and we'll hope to talk to you again next week in Dega.
Absolutely. Talk to you guys later.
It's been a hot minute since we've had Chris Howell back in booth 200, but he is here. Runner-up tonight at Pocono after a really strong showing all night long. Qualified top 10. I don't think he really left the top 10 all night here this evening, but sneaking onto the podium late. Congrats.
Hey, I appreciate it. It's been like 5 years since I've been up here, so hey, it's nice to nice to be back. Yeah, like you said, kept had a good qual and just kept in the top 10. I rode around in I think sixth spot most of the night, but yeah, it was a fun race. Just kind of wish some of the cautions didn't happen, but hey, it is what it is with new group of drivers.
Certainly. And Pocono's a tough place if you're trying to find your footing in a league as well. And hopping back into the truck here tonight, I mean, you were towards the front of this field all night. You were kind of the guy that was bridging the gap between the two groups later in this race. A couple of restarts up on row number 3. I mean, walk me through your last couple of laps there, and how did you manage to pick your way up to the second position here?
Well, I mean, the restarts were pretty crucial in where you place your truck. The outside was really sketchy because, for one, if a guy in front of you, hits the wall, it could check up your line, and you can't make a move to the inside. You're kind of trapped. So it's kind of just assessing what's happened out of two and kind of just place your truck right for the tunnel turn and just braking early and turning in kind of early on the tunnel turn would definitely help drive off. And that's basically just what I did. I just placed my truck right and just kind of watched the guys around me and see what kind of moves they were making. There were some couple guys that were making some pretty aggressive moves, and they paid for it. So yeah, just kind of be patient. And yeah, I kind of lucked into the second spot. I for sure probably would have got a top 5, but I think I was fourth until that incident happened between Charlie and Justin. And dude, when that happened, I started seeing like the pearly gates. I'm like, oh man, I might get this win. But it didn't work out. But I still take a second, missing last week and not getting any points. That really needed a strong finish.
Well, I'll tell you this much. You would not have been alone beyond the pearly gates here if that was your fate at the end of this one. Pocono was a wasteland here tonight. Joshua, what you got?
Man, congrats on the P2 and being back up here with us. Like you had mentioned, not showing up last week, not getting any points. I mean, what's your thought process as we're still very early in the season, but as we move in, one race closer to the chase?
So it's a long season, and the new drivers. This really kind of goes out to the new drivers. Is that in a season like this where there's 25 races, there's no need to be so aggressive on lap 5 of race 1 or lap 15 of race 2. You got plenty of racing left, so just get out there, ride around, feel the other drivers, find your line, find your inputs, and just keep working at it and just progressively increase your speed, and you'll progress over the season. So that's my take is just take a step back and just kind of be patient and just kind of be selective of when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. I mean, most of the race you don't 90% of the race you don't need to be aggressive. So yeah, that's my mindset moving forward. I just hope I can make all these races or the majority of the races and just keep pointing my way up there. And I got a lot of ground to make up, just not getting any. I think I got like a drop week last week. I think I got some points, but still way back there.
Well, lessons to be learned for our new drivers, and podiums still be celebrated for our veteran drivers, that's for sure. Thanks for the time, as always, here tonight. Let's you get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, I just want to thank my teammates. I got a couple teammates on Two Brothers Racing. I got Zachary Groover and Brandon Groover, and then I got all my teammates over at Bandit, Scott, Justin, James, Gary, Rob, all those guys that over at Greg, all those guys. Just give them a shout out, and I just want to thank you guys for putting on this broadcast for us. I think this may be the last season that you guys broadcast for us,
Yep.
but I hope and pray that you guys can continue on. But I understand if you can't. Y'all do an awesome job every week, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just thankful to be here and just thankful for the finish.
Well, we're looking forward to many more of these down the road. Thanks for the time here tonight. Go celebrate this one. We'll hope to talk to you next week at Dega.
All right, Tommy, Josh, y'all have a good one.
It's been a while since we talked to Christopher Howell, but no stranger to Booth 200, and he's back up here for a race winner for the 17th time in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Justin Michael is a race winner here tonight at the Tricky Triangle, and I think your triangle was maybe a little bit trickier than some of the other drivers here tonight. You had to pass a lot of cars to get up to the front.
Yeah, we had to use pit strategy to get up here. I don't like doing that, but we had to, I guess, take a one-lap penalty for some reason, and then just at the coming to the stage break, I wasn't even thinking about it, and then some other person pitted a lap sooner. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try that, see what happens. So it really worked out for us. So got us past 30, 40 some odd cars. So.
I mean, it wasn't too much longer. I mean, you were out there on a couple lap older tires. It looked like the handle was starting to go away a little bit. You lost the lead to Scott Patton, but it wasn't but a couple more laps, and you were able to get back on cycle with everybody else. I mean, that had to be a welcome sight.
It definitely was. Yeah, we had, even though I rode those 2 laps before the stage ended really, really slow, it still burned some tires up, and then I just drove the heck out of it there too early, too. So I learned a lot that run because I didn't really get a lot of long run practice. So that really set us up good for the late stage. And I think we were going to be really good. I think we might have won if Headed went green the entire time. I was just holding back there with Scott, and the draft was good, keep me up with him. I was saving tires really well, so I think we would have been good.
I mean, so many varying strategies there headed into, a restart right at the end of regulation and then what ended up being 2 overtime starts. You're kind of buried a little bit further back in the pack than maybe anybody was expecting to see you. I mean, how do you pick your way through there knowing that how much chaos and calamity lies ahead?
It was hard, that's for sure. We had to really time some of the greens just to jump ahead of people because the people kept wrecking in the back, and we couldn't get no momentum going. And I mean, I thought that Dakota was going to win just because we couldn't get a long enough run to go catch him. So, but luckily at the end we got the long run. Charlie got past him, and then I got past him, and then yeah, I don't like winning the way I did. So it's not a good win today.
Joshua, what you got?
Man, congrats on the win, nonetheless. I mean, you mentioned the restarts and having to time them, but what goes into that? Because we see from the broadcast point of view, a lot of checking up on that outside line. I mean, is that just from not being the start car, or what causes that?
It's just everybody trying to get a run, to time the restarts, and some do, some don't, and when some don't, it really stacks up people. And I got lucky; I was able to time most of them pretty well, and I got one really good run. I wish we could have passed before the start finish line because I think I could have passed everybody, but I had to back off, unfortunately.
Well, you're back to victory lane here. After a rough week last week, you're back on the right foot, and now you get to test your luck again at a super speedway next week. Which I mean, historically, the numbers always say that you're going to finish well in those, but man, it's also luck of the draw.
We either finish well or we wreck.
Yeah,
it seems like at those places.
Yeah, at least we're not on the streak that we started Max V at, where you finish second in every single race. You've gotten a couple checkers at the drafting tracks now. So the monkey's off the back. But regardless, you've got your first win of the season here tonight. Congratulations, and let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, just again, I'm sorry for what happened there with Charlie. Just like I said, I don't like winning like that. We were both going for it and touched the apron there and got into him. I hate it for him. He's a good driver, and I don't know. It would have been a good side-by-side finish. So, like I said, it's nothing to celebrate tonight. So we're just going to go to next week, and we'll see what happens.
Well, thank you for the time here tonight, partner, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week at Talladega.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I think Justin a little bit down on himself there. I mean, I think there was some net code involved in that, but I certainly get the sentiment. I agree. It would have been a great finish, a good drag race all the way down to the line between those two. That outside would have come back in for Charlie there in turn number 3, and it would have been a really interesting duel. But regardless, I mean, Justin Michael takes the win here tonight with a lot stacked up against him. Very much mid-2000s Jimmy Johnson there, the deck stacked against him, and that, of course, means that he's a shoe-in for the victory, even despite being a lap down early in this race. But 9 cautions here tonight. I don't know if I quite feel the same as some of the other drivers. Maybe a couple of things to clean up headed into Talladega next week, but I think this was just Pocono being Pocono. This is already a tough track. This truck is as loose as it's ever been. And oh, by the way, the track temperature was over 120 degrees from the drop of the green here tonight. I mean, I think these drivers had a lot working against him. 9 cautions is a lot, but I mean, I think that's just kind of the nature of the beast here.
Yeah, definitely a unique combination. I mean, the trucks, they really, really don't like the hot track, but they also don't like a really cold track. So definitely one of the more interesting NASCAR vehicles to drive. But I mean, these guys they put on phenomenal races. Lots of battling up front. I don't think we ever saw a gap more than half a second or so. So I mean, that just goes to show just how competitive it is here in Maxby. And it's always a pleasure to watch them battle it out.
So we'll see what the admin team has to say after tonight. They do have a little bit of work to do, and that's the one thing about race adminning I do not miss is these long post-race discussions to be had. So good luck to the admin team on this one. Thanks to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. We had a great crew here at the Tricky Triangle. Bill Waltster was hanging out with us. Of course, you hopped in the chat earlier. Marilyn Beck was here. Bailey and Robin were here. Lisa Carroll was here. Big W Racing cheering on Chris Sargent. Twisted Drifter is Rob Martin. Appreciate you stopping by with Daniel Carroll, Parker Donaldson, Zach Magris, all cheering on Nathan Carroll as well. Did I say Marilyn Beck and Michelle Kirk already? I might have, but they deserve an extra shout out as well. Thanks for pointing out something being wrong with the broadcast. That's greatly appreciated. Yeah, that's what we got for you here tonight. Coming up in the next week, a couple of important races next week. 2 championship nights. We kick things off with the Go Squadron Formula Super Series Monday night from Suzuka. 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time for that one to settle the championship there for season number 3. We kick off the Venom Truck Series season number 10 with the Rocket Man Memorial 85 from Daytona. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time there. Then Wednesday night, it's the championship night for the SRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Auto Sport from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Catch us at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. And that will lead us into Talladega next Thursday night, right back here at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That race sponsored by Rusty Wrench Motorsports. Yeah, that's all we got for you here tonight. Thank you, as always, to CNC Home Designs for their continued support of the Max V Truck Series. Thank you to Mullet Music Productions for the music suite here on Turn 200. Thank you to the Max V admin team. Thank you to Mr. Joshua Motichek as well. That's all we got for you here tonight. Till we meet again from Pocono Raceway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Justin Michael on win number 17 in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series, his first of the season. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.